Hello everyone, this is our story for today. It's called The Snail and the Whale. This is one of the books that is my absolute favourite. I know you're going to enjoy it. But first of all, let's sing our song. Good morning, I hope you're well today. The sun is shining, the sky is blue, the flowers are sparkling just like you. Good morning, I hope you're well today. Keep safe, have a nice day, wash your hands, keep away from everybody else. Be safe. Now, you know that I live in the Bahamas with my daughter and her daughter. And we have a little house here because our big house went underwater. I've been painting to keep myself busy, and I started looking around at all the trees. A lot of them have lost their leaves, but I found a big tall tree when we were walking the dog, and I wanted to paint it. Look, it was a very tall tree. It's a fir tree of some kind, and it actually has those little cones on. And these are beautiful greenery that we can see when we go down to the beach. The tree is in the woods, and then we go down to the beach, and there you can see two people just going down to the beach. A lot of people are trying to get down to the beaches. Our beaches are the best in the world. Okay, let me put that there. Let me find the story. Okay, it's a beautiful book. And this is from Luna too. I'll keep my glasses on and look at that now. How are the pictures? If I rest on here, the picture's good?
Say the title of the book again. The title of the book.
Oh, the title of the book. Okay. The title of the book is called The Snail and the Whale.
By?
I bet you can't see the snail, but there is the snail on the tail of the whale. Oh, I love that colour. Okay, there we go. The Snail and the Whale by Julia Donaldson, and pictures by Axel Scheffler. This is one of my very favourites. What I'm going to do is I'm going to read it, and then I'm going to show you the pictures, as the pictures are just great. This is the tale of a tiny snail and a great big grey-blue humpback whale. This is a rock as black as soot, and this is the snail with an itchy foot. The sea snail slithered all over the rock and gazed at the sea and ships in the dock. And as she gazed, she sniffed and sighed. The sea is deep and the world is wide. How I long to sail, said the tiny snail. Now you see, there's the rock, and there's the snail. Here's the harbour with the ships and the lighthouse. We had a story about a lighthouse. And this here is the little tiny snail. These are the other snails in the flock, who all stuck tight to the smooth black rock, and said to the snail with the itchy foot, "Be quiet, don't whittle, sit still, stay put." And this is the trail of the tiny snail, a silvery trail that looped and curled and said, "Ride wanted around the world." And here she's come off, look, the little snail, look, see? And there she goes. Ride wanted around the world. Now this is the whale who came one night when the tide was high and the stars were bright. A humpback whale immensely long, who sang to the snail a wonderful song of shimmering ice and coral waves and shooting stars and enormous waves. And this is the tale of the humpback whale. He held it out of the starlit sea, and he said to the snail, "Come sail with me. Look how huge he is. And see, the snail is getting on his tail." This is the sea so wild and free that carried the whale and the snail on his tail to towering icebergs and far off lands. Oh, look where they're going, where the ice is and the penguins. And there's the snail on the tail of the whale. Oh, look out here, look. Walrus. Now we see with fiery mountains and golden sands. Oh, wow, look at that beautiful picture. With the whale and the snail on his tail, and the volcanoes, and the monkeys, and the turtle. Isn't that fantastic? And dolphins. When do whale go next? These are the waves that arched and crashed, that foamed and frolicked and sprayed and splashed. He splashed the tail snail, the tiny snail, on the tail of the whale. See the big waves, and he's hanging on. Oh, don't let go. Ooh, look here, look. These are the caves beneath the waves, where colourful fish with feathery fins and sharks with hideous toothy grins swam past the whale and the snail on the tail. Here's the tail, here's the snail, and here are the sharks with their wicked grins. We have corals just like this on our island. We collect shells. There's an octopus. This is the sky, so vast and high, sometimes sunny and blue and warm, sometimes filled with thunderstorm, with zigzag lightning, flashing and frightening. The tiny snail on the tail of the whale, oh, he's frightened. This is when it's sunny. You see the crabs? He's fine when it's sunny, but uh-oh. Look at this, storms and waves. Ooh, he's clinging on. Don't lose me, he says. Don't lose me. And she gazed at the sky and the sea, the land, the waves and the caves and the golden sand. She gazed and gazed, amazed by it all. And she said to the whale, "I feel so small." An eagle? Ooh, I think they're in the Rockies, perhaps in Canada, or the mountains. Wow. Great pictures. Ooh, here's the water coming out of his blowhole. But then came the day the whale lost his way. These are the speedboats running a race, zigging and zooming all over the place, upsetting the whale with their ear-splitting roar, making him swim too close to the shore. Uh-oh. And this is the tide slipping away. Oh, and this is the whale lying beached in a bay. Quick, off the sand, back to sea, cried the snail. I can't move on land, I'm too big, moaned the whale. The snail felt helpless and terribly small. Then, I've got it, she cried, and she started to crawl. I must not fail, said the tiny whale. Spotty, lay down. Spotty, lay down. This is the bell on the school in the bay, ringing the children in from their play. This is the teacher holding the chalk, telling the class, sit straight, don't talk. This is the board as black as soot. And this is the snail with the itchy foot. A snail, the teacher turned pale. Look, says the children, it's leaving a trail. This is the trail of the tiny snail, a silvery trail saying, save the whale! Save the whale! There he is, look. These are the children running from school, fetching the firemen, digging a pool, squirting and spraying to keep the whale cool. The children and the firemen and the digger, whoa, making a big hole. And look at all the children they're trying to help. Even a helicopter and another lighthouse. Sometimes, you know, at the end of a book, we could just show the pictures, because on a book like this, it is so precious. It really is nice. And this is the tide coming into the bay. And these are the villagers shouting, hooray! As the whale and the snail travel safely away. Bye, whale. Back to the dock and the flock on the rock, who said, how time's flown, and haven't you grown? And the whale and the snail told their wonderful tale of shimmering ice and coral caves and shooting stars and enormous waves, and of how the snail, so small and frail, with her looping, curling, silvery trail, saved the life of a humpback whale. And then the humpback whale held out his tail, and on crawled snail after snail. I think they're all going for a ride. Goodness me. Oh, here they are. Look, they're all going. Come on, he says, come on board. And they sang to the sea as they all set sail on the tail of the grey-blue humpback whale. Boy, that snail was getting good on that whale. Fancy riding on a whale, can you imagine? And the whale's going ooh, and through the hot country and the cold one. Oh, I told you this was one of my favourites. Did you like that one, Sarah? I thought you would do. Okay, right. This is our book for today. We've enjoyed it. We hope you do. We'll say goodbye. You can see I'm going to have a pumpkin in the back that's grown, and we're going to have pumpkin soup. And I'm hoping my tomatoes, which are very green, we're turning them round so the sunshine will get to them, and then we'll have bright red tomatoes. Bye.